I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this one, but you know, I don't really care. Hey, I'm Amy and welcome back. Today I am talking about another Oscar Best Picture nominee, The Shape of Water. This one I was very hesitant to watch. I am not a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro, and that's not because he is not a great filmmaker. I love the way his films look. They look beautiful, and from what I know about the stories, for the most part, they are really interesting and really great, well-written stories, but there is a reoccurring character, or I guess more of a reoccurring actor, who plays the same type of figure, if that makes sense, that really does not jive well with me, if that makes any sense. So this wasn't a movie I was particularly excited to watch. I had no plans on watching it until I decided to review all of the Best Picture nominees. I watched it anyways. I will talk a little bit more about my thoughts in just a second. First, I want to talk a little bit about the cast, specifically Sally Hawkins. Her performance is magnificent. I just talked about the artist in a video on Sunday, check that out up there, and the process and just the whole era of silent film. And I watched the artist actually directly after watching this movie, so it kind of went hand in hand. I feel like it just made her performance even more amazing to me. She's probably my favorite part of this entire film. I just loved how much emotion and story she could convey through just her silence and her facial expressions, her body language, using sign language to communicate with Octavia Spencer's character and with Richard Jenkins' character and even the water creature. And this is something I talked a lot about in my video on the artist. One of my favorite rules of filmmaking is show, don't tell. And that is something that having a mute lead character really does for a film, and it's something I really liked that Guillermo del Toro brought into this film. Instead of having Sally Hawkins really explicitly say what she wants to do and how she wants the world to work around with her, she has to show and just show people physically what she wants to do and tell them with her hands and with her body language what she wants to do and how she wants to do it. Richard Jenkins is also nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Honestly, I don't think he will win because I don't think his performance is anything out of the ordinary, especially compared to a lot of the other nominees in this category. I kind of feel like Michael Shannon's performance is a slight bit better. I mean, I love the fact that he was portraying a gay character, and they didn't really go over the top with his homosexuality either. It's just, I don't feel like he really gave anything else to the performance that he wouldn't have given to any other role, or that any other actor for this read would have given either. And Doug Jones. If you do not know who Doug Jones is, this is him right here. You probably don't recognize his face because usually he is in either a full body suit with a ton of prosthetics. Actually, I feel like he is in that for pretty much every single role. He plays Abe Sapien in the Hellboy series, which the first Hellboy is the only Guillermo del Toro movie I think I've actually seen. And he also plays the aqua creature in this movie and the fawn and pale man in Pan's Labyrinth. I have nothing against this guy. I mean, he is a great actor. He really brings these creatures to life. He actually went to the college that I had been planning on going to. All that said, the creatures that he portrays always really kind of freak me out. That's one of the reasons why I don't really like Guillermo del Toro's films. Nothing against the guy, he is a brilliant director. It's just that just creeps me out a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe it's like, it reminds me of Slenderman, however you say it. It's never really kind of connected with me. So watching this movie, I kind of had this wall put up a little bit. I tried to like this movie. I really tried to get into it. Honestly, I really love the story. I loved everything about this movie. I just kind of really couldn't get into it as much as I wanted to. So it was a little bit disappointing for me. It probably isn't my favorite of all of the nominees I've seen so far. Going back to Sally Hawkins' use of body language and her silence throughout the film, I really did love the balance of her quietness and just her not being able to talk with Octavia Spencer and Richard Jenkins' characters just being super talkative and talking to her and for her. It just created this very beautiful, nice balance throughout the entire movie that I really enjoyed. I will warn you guys though, my thoughts will probably be a little bit all over the place because I was just kind of writing down notes as I was watching this, kind of willy-nilly, and never really settled on a frame or flow of mind while I was watching this. So please bear with me while I kind of just go down my bullet point list. Next bullet point is Michael Shannon's character of Strickland, the security guard. His character actually really fascinated me. He was just this huge, power-hungry asshole that intimidates anybody and everybody to get what he wants, but at the same time is coerced into buying a car that he doesn't really want and that ends up getting pretty much destroyed by a salesperson just because the salesperson says that if he has this car, he will be more liked, he will be more powerful, he will be just the best at everything. So I thought it was a very interesting kind of contrast. I don't know, that's probably not the right word, but it was just a very kind of scale, I guess, of how stupid this guy actually is, how power hungry he actually is, that he would buy a car that he doesn't like the color in. He wants a Cadillac, but he doesn't like the color, so he still gets it anyways because he is told that it's the best car ever. I also like his balance with the generals. The general treats him like shit, which he even in turn treats everybody else like shit, and it's kind of the whole like bully syndrome where the bully is bullied by somebody else and takes it out on the people that he bullies. That was very interesting kind of dynamic there, but I did very, very much kind of enjoy his whole journey from pure assholeness to extreme assholeness. There was some things that he had, like some weird quirks, like the washing hands thing that I didn't really understand how that kind of fit into his power struggle with everybody else. It was just kind of this weird little insert in there that kind of went along with him losing his fingers. I don't know, if you can explain that to me, please do, because it just confused me a little bit. As well as this next one, which is, I feel like there was a theme of time going throughout this movie, because it pretty much starts with Eliza's alarm clock, the egg timer, and there's a lot of different things with time, them clocking in and out, them syncing up their watches when they're doing the heist of the water creature, and then the countdown to when they're going to release the water creature. So it's just a lot of weird things with time that I feel like were in there for a purpose. Maybe it's just having enough time with the people that you love, spending time with people that you care about. I don't know. If that's what you think it is, let me know in the comments, because both of those things just left me a little confused, and I usually am very good at picking out the meanings of things. So I feel like I'm just a little bit stumped on this one. Another thing that kind of bothered me a little bit was Eliza's movie dream sequence when she starts singing to the water monster the day before they are supposed to release him. I feel like because they play such a heavy emphasis on movies and television in their apartment, they live above a movie theater, I thought that there would be a little bit more of just scenes like this, because it was a beautiful scene and I loved it. Going back to my video on the artist, I love all things like 1920s, 60s, 20, whatever. I love old-timey movies, so that was a beautiful scene to me, but I kind of wish that they did something else, not necessarily with her singing or talking, but more like dream sequences with her. I feel like maybe they did, but they cut him out because this one just felt kind of tossed in there. Like I said before, this hasn't been my favorite of all of these nominees, but I did love the story. It was such a beautiful story. The cinematography was amazing. Like the colors in this were so beautiful. And not only was the cinematography beautiful, it really had the 60s feel. The score by Alexandre Desplat is just so amazing. It felt like it was in the 1960s as well. It had that really 1960s film feel, but it also had a little feel of what a lot of Americans would consider the Paris music, what you see in most American films when someone is in Paris. It kind of had that feel a little bit. I just couldn't really get into the story, like I said. But I do think this has a very good shot at winning. I have been having the scale on here and I am changing it a little bit around based on where I'm placing this movie. So as of right now, the scale looks like this. Everything is a little bit jumbled up from where it was in the last review. And that is all I have for The Shape of Water. I know this is a very short video. Please leave me all the hate in the comments down below for not liking this movie as much as everybody else. I can take it. I know, this is a movie I really should love. It's just, it has everything I love in a movie. I just couldn't get past that weird barrier of Guillermo del Toro. That's just me though. I feel like I probably would have loved this in another life. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really truly do appreciate you, whoever you are. Let me know who you are in the comments down below and let's be friends. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy this, still leave a like, especially if you enjoy my videos, and subscribe if you're new because I love talking movies, filmmaking, TV, and of course the Oscars, all the way up until the Oscars with you guys. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!